Welcome to the very first episode of Transformations. Now, Transformations is an idea that's come to me recently because I've been connecting in recently with what my purpose is around what I do. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tony Everard and my business is Tony Everard Coaching. And the reason that I became a coach was because around 5 years ago, I had my own transformation. And through this transformation, I went from being in a very unhappy place as a single mom in a part-time job, living an unhealthy lifestyle with a lot of personal insecurities. And I had a transformation through learning NLP and decided I wanted to help other people transform their lives as well. And through working one-on-one with people, I found that I was really, getting some great results. And so I wanted to do more. And then I became a trainer of NLP and started teaching others how to transform their own lives and the lives of their clients. And so this has become something of a dream of my purpose and my big why that I've, realized. And I'm now growing this community of other coaches and people that are really passionate about changing their lives and helping their clients do the same thing. So I wanted to create this series called Transformations and bring on people who have got real life stories about how they've transformed their lives, how they're helping their clients, so that they can share them with you, and that perhaps you will find some inspiration that is going to make you want to do some transformation of your own in your own life, maybe to be able to help others and really get the word out there that, there are people, there are communities of people who are just focused on doing good in the world and helping others live a better quality of life. So tonight, my very first episode and my very first guest, I'm really super excited to have on this episode to share with us. And tonight's guest, Suzanne Ingleton, your Inner Calm coach. I've known Suzanne for, I don't know, it's like a year or two, I think now, Suzanne. And her stories are really something special. She's a very inspirational woman. She's doing amazing things in her own life and her business. And so I want to, please welcome along Suzanne Ingleton, your Inner Calm coach. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Tony. This is actually, it's so exciting to be part of this, and I'm excited to be part of your community and, the first guest on here. So thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's an absolute pleasure. And I've been really looking forward to this and hearing, the stories that you have to share, because, I've been along the journey, part of it with you, but I know there's so much more that's, been happening with you that I'm really excited about it. So what I'd like to start off with, Suzanne, is if you could just tell us a bit about your business, who you help and how you come about starting your business.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a mind-body weight loss coach, and I help people to really shift their emotional baggage, the stuff that has really created their weight gain. And it's really only through the power of hypnosis and NLP, the skills and tools that I learnt from you, that I found that I've been able to make really long-lasting transformations within my clients. And the reason that I did this, and I suppose moving back in past life, I used to be a personal trainer. I ran my own outdoor franchise business, and I loved helping people to create that sense of purpose in their life, in terms of being accountable for their fitness, but also not taking it for granted. And one step further, or one step back from that, the reason I became a personal trainer was because I had a cancer diagnosis, and so that was 11 years ago now. But at the time, I realized I'd taken my health for granted, and I wanted to be able to bring some awareness to people and to help them come along on a different pathway in terms of their health, and so that they could take control of their health and not take it for granted and be the fittest and healthiest version of themselves. So so coming down the track more, I discovered that my clients were, even though I was training them, from an exercise point of view and from a nutrition point of view, they weren't actually they were losing a little bit of weight while they were under my care, so to speak. But afterwards, they'd fall back into their old eating habits and, come back and say it just wasn't sustainable. And I could never work that out as a personal trainer at the time. And I certainly hadn't heard of the psychology of eating or the power of the mind. It just wasn't even on my radar. I just ran around in the park. That's all I did.
Yeah. And look, and oh, sorry, Suzanne. I was just going to say, like, I love that you come from that space. And, I think sometimes it's when we have these, really serious things happen to us that prompts us to actually take things like our health serious. But it really doesn't have to be that way, does it? And, I know from my example, like I was sort of saying back in the earlier days when I, didn't really have my whole thing together very well, I was living a pretty unhealthy lifestyle, and I probably got away with a lot of it, just out of luck, I think. But, these days I take it a lot more seriously, and like looking after your body and all that sort of thing as well. It's such an important thing. And I think so much more so now it's highlighted in the state of, what's been going on, because you at the end of the day, you can't just rely on that there's going to be a pill to fix it.
No. Yeah, exactly. And it's just having an awareness that our health is very precious, and to not take it for granted. And yes, particularly in this day and age. And so I wanted to be able to help people on a different level. And when I discovered hypnosis, and that's another story in itself, I guess, because I had really no idea the power of hypnosis, what it could do. I just really wanted to add to my toolkit. I was and still am a Reiki master and teacher, and I wanted to help a broader range of people. And so, and I'm a meditation teacher as well. So I'd come across some hypnosis scripts as a meditation teacher, and I thought, oh, this is really similar to meditation. I think I could do this. And but I still had no idea what hypnosis was really. But I thought, I could broaden my customer base. Basically, that's what I thought. And my goodness, once I'd done that course with you, I was just blown away by the power of hypnosis, what it could do for people, and just how beautiful and gentle and natural it was, but, how powerful it is. And so I promptly, went from the course and decided to help smokers. I still wasn't in the weight loss space at that stage. So, and I had a lot of success, 97% success rate with people that came to see me to give up smoking. And I was an ex-smoker. So I sort of, I'd walked in their shoes as well. And so I knew what the challenges that they were facing. And so.
That's massive, Suzanne. 97% success rate, and like, I'm not surprised, but I'm just so pleased that that data, because I think, for a lot of people, and especially smoking can be really challenging for a lot of people to stop. And look, I can say I've been there too. Like, I've been a smoker, been on and off smoker. For me, I was able to be able to just stop myself smoking when I wanted to. But for a lot of people, they don't have the ability to do that. And so, I think, you just hear so many stories. I think that's one of the most common stories I hear people tell me about when I mention hypnosis, that they used it to stop smoking. Like, how amazing, what a difference that makes to people's health and lifestyle.
Yes. Oh, exactly. The amount of money that they save, the freedom that they have, So I found that hypnosis was very versatile, in what I could do, and particularly when we did the training with you, and you really sort of stepped it out and said, look, this is what you can do with it, which I had no idea. And so I took it away and ran with it. But at the hypnosis training, you touched on NLP, and I just began to build this vision of, and starting to see that there was a missing link in terms of weight loss, because I think that was another area that you talked about during the training was smoking and weight loss and other areas. And as a personal trainer, it just went, wow, I can see that now. It's all about the mind, which I had no idea. And that's why my clients weren't getting lasting success as a personal trainer. Whereas now I've been working with people that came along with me when I first started my Your Inner Calm Coach business as a weight loss coach. And that was in November. And they're still losing weight, 10 kilos now for one particular lady. It's just massively successful and huge. And I had never thought that it would be like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic to hear, Suzanne. And I know, look, I've heard a lot of great feedback about the kind of results that you're getting working with people, and you've got some amazing programs, which I'll ask you a bit about after. But one of the things that I want to ask you, Suzanne, is because, I know sometimes with talking to people that, and it was interesting because you sort of said this before, like I came across some hypnosis scripts when I was doing meditation, and I thought, wow, this is like meditation, I can do this. Because I think that, there's a lot of people that would be really interested in learning something like this for themselves, but they're concerned about whether they can be hypnotized or whether they can do it, or if it's something that's, really hard to learn, or, a lot of these kinds of fears and doubts. So were there any fears and doubts in your mind, Suzanne, that you had to overcome before you become a hypnotherapist and an NLP practitioner?
Yeah, I thought that I had to be in the science world. I thought I had to be in the realms of psychology or doctor, or, I honestly didn't think I had the smarts to do this type of work. But I didn't understand it. And I thought anything to do with the mind was, really only for those university type people, and that I wouldn't be able to grasp or just wouldn't. I didn't have the qualifications to even do the course. But having done it now, I just go, wow, yes, I can do it. And oh my goodness, it oh so works. And it was, it just made a lot of sense. There was a lot of information, and that's okay. I was prepared to do the work and do the learning and do the practice, which is basically what I've done, the day that I walked out of the course. And it's turned my business around, and it's made a lot of changes for me internally as well. And, I've been able to, another thing that I was concerned about, that, I guess deep down, I knew I had some stuff to deal with still. And I didn't think that I could deal with other people's stuff as well. I didn't know that I could. I didn't know that I wanted to. But just through your coaching and the process and the training, I was able to get rid of stuff and know and see that it was, goodness, dare I say it was easy? I don't know, but it was achievable. And it was so amazing to feel the difference within me. And as you have said, you experienced transformation. Well, yes, I did too, by just going through the process of the particularly timeline therapy, of being able to let go and release old stuff. And for me, having had cancer, I think I'd made friends with cancer. I'd forgiven and accepted that some time ago, but there was still other stuff within me, and there was probably still residual things from, you know, getting over being a victim and stuff. But oh my goodness, I just don't have any of that anymore. I don't feel any of that. I feel released from it, and I feel confident and strong enough to help other people. And I have dealt with some of my clients are going through terrible grief over different things in their life, and you know, my own grief, having had cancer, I didn't think that I could get over it, but going through the process of NLP, it's gone. It's gone. It's accepted.
Yeah, that is so good. And you know, the thing, you know, that I really loved about you, Suzanne, is that, you know, you came along to learn hypnotherapy. So, you know, it's the 3-day hypnotherapy course that I run, as you know, where basically you don't have to have any prerequisites. You don't have to have any background to hypnosis. You can come along and learn, and 3 days you can learn how to help people stop smoking, stop overeating, help people with stress reduction, performance enhancement, bad habits. And what I loved about it, Suzanne, was that you had clients booked in before the course even finished.
Yes, I was on the phone. I was putting in little ads in Facebook.
Yeah, and so you just hit the ground running, and like bang, you just started helping people like that and getting results straight away. And I think this is what, you know, I just love this so much, because this is like exactly what it's designed for. It's like you can learn it, you can experience it for yourself, you get to, you know, understand the power of it, and then start working with people straight away, which was just, I just love that so much. And I think that's such an inspiration for, you know, other people as well, to know that you can really do that. And I was just talking about this morning on a group coaching call that I was doing, about how, you know, I was in a retreat in Bali last year, and the first day that I arrived there, I got an email from you going, oh my God, Tony, like I've made so much money from hypnosis that I'm booking in to do NLP practitioner training. So tell me, you know, what is it that made you decide, from going from I just want to learn hypnosis, what is it that made you decide that NLP was going to be something that was really going to help your business?
I think just having that bit more understanding of how powerful the mind is and what it can do. And I guess the light bulb moment was, you know, because of my background as a PT, that the mind is the missing link. And I just went, oh my goodness, I can do so much more. And you know, because you gave us an introduction on what NLP, and I'd heard of NLP, you know, I'd heard a lot about it, but I just didn't think that it was going to suit me. I didn't think that I could utilize it, and until I, you know, found out more about what it could do, and that's when I thought, wow, I can really make a bigger impact here, and help people, you know, from a weight loss point of view, to make it lasting, because, you know, weight loss is just so it's such a tough road for people. They, you know, it's yo-yo up and down, it's deprivation, it's you know, negative mind talk, it's not a happy place to be. And I just knew that I could help them get out of that space, but not just temporarily, because that's what so many other, you know, weight loss programs do. It's temporary. But, you know, with what we do, we change we reprogram the subconscious mind. We can change those limiting self-beliefs that are really holding people back. And of course, there's some nifty little techniques that are just like magic, which means I can get rid of people's cravings like that. They're gone. They're forever gone. And that is the biggest thing, you know, the biggest, easiest thing for people. And once they can get rid of their cravings, they start to feel that they get some confidence. Oh, I can actually lose some weight now. It's not so hard. So, but I guess it's what you the knowledge that I gained in the hypnosis, and to see where I could take it and expand it, with my background, is why I took on, decided to do NLP prac, and I'm going to do master as well.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you coming along and doing master prac, because it will blow your mind, the stuff that you just take it all to another level. So I can't wait for that, Suzanne. Now, I think I really love how you're talking about weight, because this is when I learned NLP and about the mind, this is where I had a big shift, because I've carried weight, my weight's gone up and down my whole life as well. When I was probably in my late teens, I got up to, I think, about probably close to 20 kilos more than what I am now, or 15, 20 kilos, something like that. And, and even then when I had my daughter and I got pregnant, I gained about 30 kilos or something during my pregnancy. And so, I just knew that I would always go back to food as a form of comfort. And once I got the understanding of that, I was able to work it on myself. I've been able to maintain my weight, really well since then. Look, it still goes up and down a couple of kilos. I think everyone does at times. But I can control that now, because I don't rely on food for my emotions. And that was the biggest shift that I got, that I suddenly went, whenever I saw someone that was carrying a lot of weight, I could just see like the pain that they were carrying. Yeah. Or like the defense that they were carrying, because this is really what happens, isn't it? That people often are carrying weight as a way of protecting themselves in one way or another, or, trying to, a lot of it's protection, really, isn't it? So tell me a bit about, Suzanne, like what's the biggest breakthrough you've seen with your clients, I guess around this kind of weight mindset?
Weight mindset. Yes, it's the fact that as soon as their body releases those old emotions, then they have this immediate sense of lightness. But what all these old emotions are doing is creating the stress response in their body, the fight or flight. And as soon as we do that, and because our mind and gut basically have a direct line of communication, if this isn't happy, our gut's not happy. If our gut's not happy, our mind isn't happy. And it's the biggest blocker to weight loss. Stress, just mainstream stress, is the biggest blocker to weight loss. But once we deal with all the big emotions, anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt, then there is no reason to comfort eat anymore. Food just becomes a choice. It's a choice to eat, or it's a choice not to eat. And, I find that the clients that come to me have labeled food as, good or bad, whereas food isn't actually malicious. It doesn't want to hurt us. Yeah. And, but, we have labeled food differently, depending on, where our stance is. But I suppose, all of my clients have come to me in the first 5 weeks or the first 4 weeks and lost up to 5 kilos. One lady lost up to 22 centimeters from around her body. That they just were literally shrinking a centimeter or 2 a week. I'd look at them when they walk in the door and go, oh my God, you shrunk again. Yeah. So, but it's not just the weight, it was the mindset. I had one particular lady that every Christmas was very, very sad for her. Her parents were killed in an accident. And so every Christmas was just, and leading up was just not a happy time. And with the process of the hypnosis, with the timeline therapy and the work that we did with NLP, and just, integrating the different parts of her and changing some self-beliefs and releasing all that old sadness. For the very first time, and I don't know, it might have been 15 or 20 years, she had a happy Christmas. She contacted me. She said, I put the Christmas tree up. I put things, I put presents. I did this, I did that. I had someone over for dinner. Whereas before, she would hide away and just isolate herself for the whole entire Christmas period because it was too painful for her, and she could not go out and, experience life as we know it, as being happy at Christmas in the main. And so that was, that was just so wonderful to see and hear that, and know that, from now on, every Christmas is going to be happy for her, whereas it had always been sad. And so, she came to me for weight loss, but what happened, yes, she lost weight, but also she lost a whole heap of sadness and other stuff that had really been weighing her down, and that's what I found essentially. Once we remove the heaviness of the emotions from the body then just starts to release the weight, because we're getting rid of all that stress and that underlying stress, which has a profound effect on us, and it is the biggest blocker to weight loss. So
yeah, that's amazing, Suzanne. And this is and that's transformational. That is you've massively transformed that lady's life. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, is because so often people go through experiences in their life where they just get this belief that they can never go back to having a happy life, that they have to carry this, and they don't actually see a possibility of how they can move past it. And this is what I love so much about this work, is that it's really about helping people find a new perspective of what's happened in their life that literally changes their past. I mean, the things still happen, but how you perceive them and how you perceive your life now and how you perceive your life in the future completely transforms.
Absolutely. And I have another couple of clients incidentally coming to me, and as we know this happens, both of them having lost their partners had died in the last 2 years, and that they were just so grief-stricken and not really able to function. They're crying all the time and just moving to a state of severe depression. And a lot of my clients again have said to me, I don't know what I would have done without you over these few weeks, because I had quite a few clients that I was working with when COVID-19 started and self-isolation started. And for those, for the few that were already their trajectory was, quite down into depression, it would have been, very unpleasant for them to have been still holding on to those emotions and having to be self-isolated when they were already alone. And struggling with that. So they've just been so grateful and said, I don't know how we would have got through this, had we not been doing the work that we do with Line Therapy and just getting rid of all that old stuff. So, and yeah, one of them has just said, I don't cry anymore, Suzanne. I don't cry anymore. And whereas, it used to be a daily, several times a day occurrence, and now she can see some light and is excited about her future and has accepted and is looking forward to moving forwards, So they're also wonderful stories.
Yeah, that is so good. And I think, that's such an important takeaway for people, because I know there'll be people that watch this that, are trying their best to front up to life every day as if they've got it going on and got it together, but really when they're at home or whatever else, they're suffering with massive problems with anger or with sadness or with fear and anxiety or guilt, and this can be really crippling for some people. And the length of time that sometimes you hear people have lived with these emotions. And the fact is, we know that the emotions the domain of the unconscious mind, which is stored in the body. So this is where disease comes from. When you hold this kind of stuff in the body, it's really unhealthy for you. Apart from the fact that it makes your life miserable, it's actually detrimental to your body. So look, you know, that's just amazing, Suzanne. I love hearing these stories. Now, I know we could keep talking because, you know, between us, we could find more and more stories about transformations, which I just love. It makes my heart sing. This is truly my purpose fulfilled. And I thank you so much for being part of this journey with me on your own, you know, kind of journey to wanting to help people and part of the community. You know, you're a beautiful part of our community, and I love the work that you're doing. And so what I want to just ask you, Suzanne, do you have what are your 3 tips for, like, 3 mindset tips using NLP?
Yes, I had to write them down because there's so many.
Yeah.
But I guess finding, helping people to get learnings, to learn from their old emotions so that they can let go and release them. That will keep them, that will serve them in the current and future times when, you know, they may experience anger, sadness, fear, hurt, or guilt, because obviously they're emotions that we have to have. They serve to protect us, but we don't have to carry the old parts of that around with us, which affect us in the future. So
I love that tip, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's really anything that's going on that's giving you a hard time. The question is, what is there here for me to learn? That's right.
And it's lovely to see that they come to their own realization that yes, they can let go of this stuff, and they did learn something from it. And I suppose I find that so special is because I learnt something from having cancer. If I hadn't have learnt anything, then I would still be very angry at it, I think. If it wasn't for cancer, I wouldn't be here today. So I'm actually grateful. I've come to that space of gratitude, even though, you know, all the stuff that goes along with it. I wouldn't be who I am today without it. So I am grateful for that.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is being with NLP is for people to let go of their old limiting self-beliefs. So, you know, the stuff that holds them back when they, you know, in their mind, they say, no, I can't do that. Or, and in fact, they can. It's just a belief that they decided at some point in their life that they would put on weight, or that they weren't able to go to university, or, you know, they can't have a happy relationship or something, whatever it is. That's another one which has a profound effect and allows people to go, oh, I can do this, you know, or they're not confident, or they procrastinate, and, you know, they're disorganized, all those things. We can just change all those things. And another one is being able to reframe their current patterns of self-talk, particularly with weight loss, because there's so much negative self-talk. You know, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I will never be able to do this. It's just reframing for them and showing them that you can change your languaging patterns to something positive, and to be able to talk to them in terms of, you know, this negative self-talk just creates a very deep groove, a neural pathway in your mind, and our minds just automatically fall into the negative anyway. So we need to make a conscious effort to move into the positive. And so reframing that negative self-talk into positive self-talk, which just makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%, Suzanne. And this is one of my favorite ones, and I say this quite a bit, is that your words don't describe your reality, they create your reality.
Correct.
So it's like, you just got to be so mindful of the words that you're saying to yourself, because they're all suggestions to your unconscious mind. It's you creating that. So it's like, choose your words. So I love it. So your 3 tips, Suzanne, is that you can get rid of your negative emotions. You don't have to carry them with you. You can shift your limiting beliefs. They're not true about you. Challenge them. You can shift them. And mind your language.
Yes, mind your language. Very good. Yes.
Fantastic. I love it, Suzanne. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, what I want to do, we're going to wrap this up, but like what I want you to just share with us, Suzanne, is like, where can people find you? And like, what, you know, do you have any events or programs or things that you're offering at the moment? Because look, I know there'll be people watching this that have struggled with weight loss and those kinds of things, that will be having watched this and realized that there's, you know, there's some hope for them. And, you know, I'm sure they'll want to get in touch with you. So tell us, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, sure. So my website is www.yourinnercalmcoach.com. I also have a Facebook page, Your Inner Calm Coach. And what I've got happening at the moment, actually starting next week, is a Master Your Metabolism. It's a 5-week course. And it's a lot about the mind. It's less about food and exercise. Most people go, oh, metabolism, I've got to eat this or not eat that, and I've got to move more, and or whatever. It's not about that. It's we're looking at it completely from a mind space, so, mind psychology, eating psychology. And so that's coming up over the next 5 weeks. And that's an online group Zoom call. But of course, my 5 in 4 weight loss program is my flagship program. And that is the one that gets the big results and the lasting results. And that's a one-on-one course, one-on-one program with me. We work either online, as you know, we do. Many people are doing that now. Or we can work face-to-face, practicing safe social distancing. I have an amazing space here at the Good Hub on Goodwood Road in South Australia. And they are the two things that I'm offering at the moment. I also have a Facebook group called the Weight Loss Goals Club group, and we have a lot of fun in there. We're running challenges. At the moment, we're doing a 10,000 steps a day challenge. And I'd have to say, it's just been so motivating and so exciting to see everyone get out there. And, you know, for me, it's the first thing I think about. It's the last thing I think about. And I'll just show you, I've got my little step counter, and I always make sure I've done my 10,000 steps. Oh yes, 10,060 steps. I don't know if you can see that.
Really? That's amazing, Suzanne. I know that you've spent a big day at the computer today as well. So, you know, there's no excuse really, is there? You can make these things fit into your life.
Yep, absolutely. So, and this month, for the month of May, we're doing 10,000 steps plus meditation. So spend 5 minutes a day meditating. And these form the basis of healthy, happy habits. And when we've got a healthy, happy habit in place, then, you know, we can start to see those mind shifts, and we can start to see the body shifts, you know, the weight loss, the stress loss, all of that sort of stuff starts happening for you. So, so that's where it's all happening at the moment, the Weight Loss Goals Club group.
That is fantastic, Suzanne. And, you know, I love, like you said, you do have a very beautiful office. I've been in there because I've actually learned Reiki from Suzanne as well. You know, I think all the, like the meditation, the Reiki and these stuff, are beautiful, all, you know, really complementary things, because we're really looking at holistic health. So that's fantastic. And I also love that you're working online, and that you mentioned that, because, you know, that's super important, because, you know, not everyone is comfortable, or not everyone can always come in. I know for myself, I've worked with people online that are interstate, overseas, all kinds of things, and it's super effective. And in fact, it's become my preferred way of working with people now. So, you know, that's really important to know, is that you still have access to people, you know, like Suzanne online, who can help you work through things, and it's super effective, and it does work. It's
absolutely. I think, one of my very first clients was a person who was in the corporate world, and her only availability was 7 a.m. in the morning. And so, yes, we did this. We did the whole thing online on Zoom, and it was just so effective. And she's still part of, you know, the group, the Weight Loss Goals Club group, still losing weight, still, you know, putting her happy habits tracker, happy habits in place. But it, as you say, it means that I can work with people all over Australia and the world. So, you know, we can therefore help so many more people, and who can take advantage of, you know, all the skills that we have all learnt from you, Tony, and put into our toolkit. So yes, it's that butterfly effect, that ripple effect. It all starts with you, and then we've been, we can carry on all this amazing work.
Yeah, absolutely, Suzanne. Thank you so much. And which reminds me, I do have a hypnosis course. The 3-day hypnosis is coming up at the end of May as well, 29th to 31st of May. So, by all means, if you're looking for weight loss and one-on-one coaching, go and get in contact with Suzanne. If you're interested in learning hypnosis, you can look me up as well. You'll find me, Tony Everard Coaching, everywhere. And thank you so much, Suzanne, for coming on. I really appreciate it. I've loved hearing, about your stories of transformation. You really are a beautiful soul and are making a big difference in the world. So thank you for joining me tonight and sharing with us.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you on the next episode.